Good morning, my name's Holly D. It is 3:36 a.m. on February 25th. I'm having a great morning. I can't sleep. I'm so freaking tired, but I still can't sleep. Welcome to, how did I word it? United we fall, divided we stand. This is going to be a podcast about the United States government. I don't know much about other countries because I haven't been out of this country. That's as much as I'll tell you. Because I believe in discretion, especially with, shit today. People, I don't want fucking people stalking me or my people, But people are fucking nuts, dude. There are people out there, but yeah. I wanted to talk, my first podcast is going to be about the Bill of Rights. And I'm just going to quote it from a standpoint, just in general, a couple of sentences, something I got on the internet, and you can get it, you can download the PDF or whatever. But the First Amendment to the Bill of Rights is, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Now, I'm going to rewind to the first thing. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. Okay, for the most part, we're free to practice our religion, but are we? Our movements today are religion? Because there's just shit I am not understanding about how the government is working now. And maybe it's always been corrupt and been like that. But mostly, how are us as a people that live in the United States functioning now as opposed to how we used to function then? As in years and years and years ago, or just not even decades ago, maybe just a century ago. I don't know, But yeah, there's one thing that I really want to bring up, but I'm saving that for a podcast, and I'm going to be doing a lot of yelling on that one. But it says, so they pretty much can't make a law that's going to say that you have to believe in God, that you have to believe in spirituality or Buddhism or paganism or Wiccanism or whatever the case may be. Or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Now, that law has been broken, especially in the past 5 years. A lot of people that have come to the Ten Commandments is, gotten out of schools, for example. That's primarily a Christian religion. I was raised Pentecostal, so I know all about the Ten Commandments, but yeah, they had that taken out of school. So that right there, that amendment has not been amended since now don't quote me on this because I'm not an expert. And I'm just saying, I'm just talking like a real person would who's not extremely educated. I'm just keeping it real. It makes no sense. So if they took the Ten Commandments out of schools, what's the big fucking problem? And now they want to take away under God. What's the big fucking deal? What changed between 20 years ago or 10 years ago to the fact that now people find that fucking offensive? Did God turn on them and now they don't want to hear the fucking word God? I'm not establishing that I believe in God because I practice 3 different religions. I'm acceptant of I've studied many religions to find out which one I wanted. And I made my own decisions about them. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But we all have that right. Some of us were raised Buddhist. Some of us were raised, Baptist or Lutheran or Mormon or, the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And they were raised to think that that is the only way. So I try to look at it from everybody else's perspective. Christians believe that if you don't believe in God or you don't accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior, that you're going to go to hell. Buddhism believes that life is suffering and there's heaven on earth or hell on earth or whatever. What's another? Spirituality is one that I practice that I love a lot. But, just to the concept of, let's say that there's no judgment. It's a judgment-free zone that I'm talking about. And somebody said something about, like, one nation under God, okay? That's been written for, I don't know how many fucking 2 centuries? Over 2 centuries ago. We're kind of a newer country, so compared to all the other countries, but it's like our Constitution isn't updated because we don't have those fucking like in the Bill of Rights, we don't have those rights anymore. We might have used to have those rights, but we don't have those fucking rights anymore. It says or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So that's them breaking their own motherfucking law in the amendment, in Amendment 1. Or abridging the freedom of speech. Well, there's about 15,000 examples that I can fucking think of now about how, the government really tries to get people to shut the fuck up. A lot of shit that goes down with the Illuminati and celebrities and things of that nature. People just disappear out of fucking nowhere. And nobody fucking wants to say anything because they're scared to die. And, why are they scared to die, though? That's the whole fucking point. It completely erases the entire fucking point that we shouldn't be afraid to die because we're supposed to have freedom of speech. But we don't have freedom of speech anymore, so now we gotta watch everything that we fucking say. A rabbit just went across my dad's fucking street. That was fucking awesome. Sorry, I'm random. But, yeah, so we don't have freedom of speech anymore. So we have to watch everything that we say now because it's on Big Brother and they're gonna come for us, or they'll delete our Facebook account, or they'll fucking hack into our fucking finances and they'll just make us broke. And they'll just fucking kill us that way by starving us to fucking death. And I know that this sounds extreme to some people, like, you're taking it way out of proportion. No, I'm not. I'm really fucking not. And with this COVID-19 and with everything that's going down, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they're taking away cash. There's a quote-unquote shortage of coins, so they want you to make exact change. But preferably a no-contact way of payment. It's on signs all over where I fucking live. So I know it's all over the U.S. There's no fucking shortage. Just because somebody says something online or on the fucking news even, or it is not law. And just because the government wants you to live one way does not mean that you have to fucking live that way. I always wanted to die by sacrifice, but I'll die making a statement. Absolutely. Because I know that my life would have ended, at least I would have had purpose. Because nowadays, over the past few years, I can document certain instances and do some light education on that if you would like me to. But I grew up watching Larry King Live and shit. You know, my mother was high into politics. She knew judges and fucking police officers and fucking, you know, people with the county and people who ran it. The mayor, the fucking governor, the fucking president, I mean, it's not like she was hanging out with the president every day, but she did meet the president and she knew people. She was very influential and she was extremely, respected and very loved. She was a great person. Sorry I got off topic, but I'll always talk about my mom and how fucking awesome she was. Rest in peace. But anyway, yeah, she showered me in politics when I was a young woman, and she had a very vivacious spirit. She did not back down. She provided for her own children. As a woman and a mother that grew up in that, she didn't depend on my dad worked and my mom worked. She didn't depend on just my dad to bring home the bacon. You know, my mom went out and got what she wanted out of life. You know, she would always be doing shit like she's just living life, just sipping it through a straw. That's how life should be lived. But the government's telling us how to live our lives now. And it's just... Hold on just a second. I locked myself out of my phone because I'm bullshitting and going off topic. It's just ridiculous how far this has come, and that there has been no movement that has been made that has been positive or peaceful. Because check what this says. Or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Yeah, we just covered that. Or abridging the freedom of speech. We're talking about that. Yeah, things that people say on the internet. Things that people have said about the government and how fucking they're pretty much ratting them out. You know, trying to tell the public and inform the public that there are blinders over your eyes, that this is really what's going on, that they are hiding things from you, that they are quote unquote raping us, and we're taking it. I mean, when is enough going to be fucking enough? Like, I'm pissed off because I have waited this long to fucking say something. And they'll probably, I don't have that much influence. I only have a tiny local following. I'm not trying to fucking do this to be rich and famous and fucking get my name on I don't want my name fucking all over the place. I like to stay, I don't want to be famous. At least anymore, I don't. I'm a musician and I do stand-up comedy and I do these podcasts and shit. I mean, this one's a more serious one, but I am who I am and I'm going to die being that person. But there are so many brainwashed people in the United States today that are extremely gullible, that will believe anything that the government tells them because they know that something's wrong. We all know something's wrong. And they don't want to do anything now because of the not the threat, but because of the consequence has gotten so high just for being who you are. It's outlandish as fuck. And it's proprietary as fuck. And I hate it. Or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. Yeah, I mean, the government does stuff to abhor the press all the time. I mean, fuck yeah. If you see on TV, all these senators that are like, I'm not discussing this at this time, blah, blah, blah. The press they're kind of like, let me think of a good analogy. The press and the government, the press and celebrities, it's a necessary evil. It's always going to fucking be there. It's at the same time, they might hate them, but it's what makes them rich. It's what makes them fucking greedy and fucking all the 7 deadly motherfucking sins. You know? It's what makes them famous. So they hate them, but they love them. You know, and secretly they're having conversations with them behind all of our backs telling us, you know, let's stage this and let's stage that. And if you don't believe me, I'll provide documentation on it. I don't care. But anyway, going on. Or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Okay, to petition the government for a redress of grievances means, I know what it means, but it's hard to explain. Let me fucking, I'm sorry, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to Google it. Because that's what we all do nowadays. We live by our motherfucking phones. I do it too. I'm not going to lie. I do it too. Technology has fucking ruined our lives. Self-gratification is what it's all about now. And we're all spoiled as fuck. Okay. Redress. There it is. Redress of grievances. Yeah, that's looked up. Is the right to make the right to petition government for redress of grievances is the right to make a complaint to or to seek the assistance of one's government without fear of punishment or reprisals. The right can be traced back to the Bill of Rights in 1689, the Petition of Right, and the Magna Carta. Now, these are older documents. I mean, 1689, 2009. That's over 300 years because 2009 was 10 years ago. It's 2021 now. I'm not good with math, but I will be. I'm going to school, motherfuckers. Anyway. So that one's out as well. First of all, there's no fucking possible way. Maybe 20, 25 years ago when I grew up as a kid, you know, when I was growing up, you could maybe take that to the government, but I think this was just beginning. There was always conspiracy, and there's always going to be conspiracy. But my question to you is it conspiracy or is a lot of this truth? Look deep and see for yourself. No one should fear no one should fear any government. And I don't, you know, I'm not saying let's, you know, anarchy in the US. That's not what I'm saying. You know, I'm just, life is too short for this shit. And they're using power and force to shut us the fuck up. And they're giving us money to shut us up and to keep us, you know, from starting a movement that would actually bring about peaceful assembly. And as far as I know, for the exception of regional things, when it comes to the United States government, I can't even remember the last time, and this is so fucking sad, guys, that anyone for a huge cause, I'm talking monumental, that could change the way that we live in our country. I don't remember the last time anyone peacefully assembled. Peacefully. I'm talking, you don't burn down your own goddamn towns and your own fucking dentist office and your own fucking barber shops and your own fucking, and this is what, this is what I'm talking about. Oh, sorry, I'm real passionate about this. But no, we do not have that right either. We don't. Yeah, I'm going to hold back on that because I want to save that. But, and this is just the First Amendment right here, guys. You know, I mean, it's something to think about. It's not right what the fuck they've done. You know, I mean, this one guy, this was years ago, but this one guy voiced his opinion about like I was saying previously. I'm sorry, I didn't finish it because I'm attention deficit disorder. So I'm all over the place, and it's probably about time to take my morning meds. Because I take them pretty early, like 6 a.m. Now I've got a couple hours, but yeah, so I bounce all over, and that's why I bounce all over. Freedom of speech, freedom of the, nobody peaceably assembles anymore. And we cannot petition the government for redress of grievances. We cannot come to our government and say, I am dissatisfied with the way that this is working. I am not comfortable with this, and it needs to change. Because nobody is standing up for any fucking thing anymore, because they have everything that they need on their cell phones and their fucking tablets and computers. And I admit, I need that shit too, dude. I did not want to go over to the technology side. I fucking refused until it was necessary as fuck for jobs, for my livelihood, to file for unemployment if I had it, to receive, mails going away, U.S. postal mail. I mean, it'll probably already always be here because certain things, like mailing out load card, like cards or something like that, and discrete information, but that's going away. It's all on the internet. I had no choice. It's to adapt or die. And I am afraid that if a movement is not made before too soon, they're gonna call martial law on our asses, and it is gonna be adapt or fucking die. They're not gonna let us out of our goddamn houses. COVID-19 is just an excuse. It's about population control, and it is about, and no doubt, I do feel for the people who have passed away due to it. I know it is a sickness. I identify that it is a sickness. But like everything else, has the government strategically put that in their place for the future so that it would pan out right to their acknowledgments, right to exactly what they wanted for the American people, which is to be scared and totally unorganized and not peaceful at all. They want to see us burn down our own fucking houses. They want to see us angry and fucking unorganized. They don't want to see us. They want to see us divided. They want to see us stereotype. They want to see us fucking hate each other for being a different ethnicity. A different color, a different race, whatever. They want us to fucking fail, man. Because they're reaping all the benefits. They don't give a fuck about us. And I feel strongly about this, and don't get it twisted. I depend on the government for a lot at this point in my life. I do. So just with this fucking podcast, I could be risking a lot myself. But sometimes, like, when is the line, like, going to be crossed between doing the right thing and then just it's like sitting back and watching a fucking murder go down, and then people are watching it, they're recording it on their fucking cameras, dude, on their cell phone, but they're not actually getting up to physically help a person who's getting beat to fucking death because they're white, or beat to fucking death or shot because they're fucking black. It doesn't matter. People are dying on all sides of this motherfucker. So don't get that twisted either. And I'm going to make an entire podcast, a 45-minute, about how I feel about Black Lives Matter. I am not racist at all. I've never been racist. I dated more black men almost than I have fucking other men. white men. I even did a diversity year where I dated a Chinese person, a Mexican person, a guy with Tourette's syndrome, a guy with bipolar disorder, a guy with schizophrenia, because I want to share life experiences with people. I want to see how they live. I want to be a part of their lives. If at least for a little bit, because life comes in phases. And when that phase is here, enjoy it. But when it's gone, sometimes it's gone. The only thing that is forever in this fucking world is what you choose to be forever. I'm talking relationships, jobs, whatever. And we, are a hopeless, it seems, generation of hopeless, depressed people who are easily stimulated by technology, games, social media, and whatever else tickles the fancy. Sorry about that. Moving on. Amendment number 2. Oh my gosh, I only got 26 minutes. I'll have to turn this into 2 podcasts. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Well, that's out too. I don't know how many times the United States government has tried to shut down the NRA, the National Rifle Association, in the past 10 fucking years. Maybe more. It's a matter of opinion. I think it's literally like a catch-22. I believe that everyone has the right to defend themselves. But at the same time, I believe that with a weapon readily available, sometimes accidents can happen and people can shoot someone on accident, and that could be an accidental fucking death. So I just think it's a catch-22. But yes, that right is not. And here recently, I'm going to get more in tune with politics and the news and shit like that, so that I can talk about more current events, so that we can talk about what's happening like right now, in real time. This is just kind of a general podcast. Shall not be infringed. Well, it's been infringed upon. Being necessary to the security of a free state. Yep, we're not fucking free, you guys. Amendment number 3. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Okay, I think that has something to do with... Okay, no... Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Okay, so if we do undergo martial law, soldiers won't be able to quartered in any house. No quarter, no yeah, I get it. Sorry, I'm working myself through it. I have to... Mentally, my brain does not work as fast as others. So thanks for bearing with me, guys. I'll just have to give it a minute. Amendment 4. Sorry, I got a voice message from a friend. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizure shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Just so you guys know, this somewhat recently happened to a friend of mine, and don't bring up race. Just don't. Don't, guys, that's the first thing you're gonna fucking go to. some of these motherfuckers that might hear this one day, oh, well, that's because, they're fucking black and they're fucking, deprived. And that's why I'm saving that for another podcast. Okay. This is in general a fucking person. All right. My boy, one of my dudes, had cops come to his house in my town. It's on video. Totally unreasonable. Put the garbage can up against the door to keep his, pretty much wife from entering. They catch him outside on the porch, totally search him for no reason in the middle of the day and they will give you a fake warrant, guys, sometimes. They'll have the paper, it said warrant, blah, 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 blah. It has to be signed by two specific people. If it is not signed by those two specific people, they can make up they'll fucking forge that shit. They don't give a fuck. Because that's just, you know what? That's just more shit for them. That's just feeding their goddamn ego, dude. And I'm not saying that in disrespect to police officers who don't do it dirty, because there are great cops out there. I have met them, and they are respectable, and they give people respect within the bounds of the law. They actually follow the law. I'm talking about dirty ass motherfucking cops who will do anything to get their motherfucking points. Nothing. There's nothing they won't do. Anyway, he was a victim of that unreasonable search and seizure. So that has totally been violated, and that was on a local front. And no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause. And just so you know, I've learned this as of recent because I recently got in trouble myself. If you are legitimate, you have a license, your license is valid, insurance, you don't have any warrants, they do not have the right to ask for anyone's ID in the vehicle. They do not have the right to search your vehicle. But they will manipulate you into getting you to agree to them and give them permission to search your vehicle. That's fucking doing it dirty. Anyway, I just wanted to share those little tidbits of knowledge because had I would have known that, I wouldn't have gotten in trouble. And maybe I probably would have. Let's fucking keep it real. But I wouldn't have gotten in trouble that time because I was set up on that shit. But anyway, enough of that. Amendment 5. How many? Let's see. I got 11 minutes and 41 seconds. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm real, like I said, this is real deal shit right here. Amendment 5, and I'll stop at Amendment 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Okay. Unless presented on the indictment of a grand jury. Okay. So, unless you're indicted to a grand jury, like on a big crime, you don't have to answer for yourself, except in cases arising for the military, except for cases in the military and the naval forces. And then you had to serve at the actual time of the war. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be put twice in jeopardy of life or limb. That's the double jeopardy rule. Nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. I'm a firm believer, and I was just raised this way, into sticking up for your rights. And when even if it takes you a minute, if you finally know your rights within your state, within your city even, you are all the better for it. It will save your ass, that's number one. And number two, you know, it will fucking, you stay educated on them, you're going to have a better, if you stay educated in general, like, the more you know, about this shit, the better off you're going to be. Even though, like, I was raised in politics, yeah, but I'm proud to be raised in politics. I've known and experienced and had opinions and debates with so many people about hella shit over the years. From the Clinton administration to the fucking Bush administration to September 11, 2001. Actually, that's when I got pulled over, was 9/11, but not in that specific year. Let's check the time. I'm going to check the time. But yeah, deprived of life, liberty, or property. We're all deprived of that every day. And that's why I love my life. I really do want to live my life. I try to live my life every day, just enjoying it. Even if I am fucking up or making mistakes or not doing the best thing in the world, but at least I'm trying, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to be me. And I'm going to give it my fucking all. And I'm going to do what I want to do. Nobody's going to take my car, man. And it's going to get bad. A lot of the shit, even if you don't believe in the Christian religion, you don't have to. But there's a lot of things that have come to pass already that were in the Bible that have already come to pass in reality here. Wars and rumors of wars. There will be no buying or selling. That's the COVID thing. They pretty much won't allow you to buy or sell anything. They're going to take away cash so that you can only use cards. And then eventually they're going to tell you to get this chip in your fucking wrist or whatever. So that they can just scan your wrist and then no more cards. That in the Bible, if you believe in such things, I respect anything that anyone has to debate with me about. That's fine. I can have a calm conversation. I'm not going to get heated. But in the Bible, the Holy Bible, KJV version, it says there will be no buying or selling without, pretty much like starvation is coming. They're going to take away cash, and that's the mark of the beast. And then that's the beginning of the Antichrist, and then the beginning of the end of the world, and then the rapture happens, and then that's the worst of the worst for a couple thousand years, According to the Bible, devil's going to come up, reign for a couple thou, and then Jesus is going to come in and say, fuck this shit. Or God's going to come in, sorry. But anyway, oh man, we covered a lot. 6 minutes and 29 seconds. What do you want to talk about? Let's keep going. Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation. That's why they read it to you. To be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel in his defense. Yeah, they pretty much hate to do that, but I say they go by the guidelines there. If they don't read you your Miranda rights and you get arrested for any reason, you don't even have to pay for an expensive lawyer. Talk to your public attorney and tell them. And you can always, you have to, before you plead, don't plead. Before you plead, if you aren't satisfied with your public defender, you can switch them out then, but then and only then. And if they say, do you have do you have a defense? Blah, blah, blah. Do you have representation, accurate representation? Blah, de, blah. And you have someone in mind, then tell them as soon as possible. Because after you plea out, the judge has to make that decision to whether or not he will allow you to switch out counsel. So just keep that in mind. At least that's for, I don't think that's statewide. I think that is, well, no, it could be statewide. But yeah, look up your own, the more you know. Look up your own rules and regulations in your own states as well and see what because every state's different. Just like every country's different. But I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to drink a Coke and smoke a cigarette and take my pills, and then I'll probably do another podcast because I'm on it today. I got a lot to say, and I appreciate all, the future feedback. If I don't get any, I'm not worried about it at all. I'm still going to continue. I appreciate all the downloads. I'm up to 601, and then one Facebook like, and then I don't know how that happens, but, I really appreciate all the downloads, regardless. I also have I have a doomed, it's very rare one. There's a couple podcasts that are kind of, random. The seasonal podcasts, and it's Holly D Live podcasts, on Facebook. And, if you want like sick, crazy, random improv shit, go to Raw and Uncut, Holly D and Company. That's my sick, funny one, my perverted one, whatever. And, then I have another podcast, one podcast called Seasonal for like Halloween, Happy Halloween, Christmas, whatever. And then another, I know I got to wrap it up. I'm going to run out of time. And then another one called, Heavy Mental. It's about, mental health and relationships and shit like that. So check those out. Drop me a line. I'm going to be on, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. I get notifications in the mail. If you made a comment, if you could comment, I don't know. But I appreciate you guys. Be good to yourselves and to each other. I love y'all. And any feedback, anything you need, you just let me know. And go out there and live your best fucking life, regardless of what the government says or does. All right, love y'all. Peace.